And there is Divine Crusader, and we could take the consecration. Consecrate heals. Like we throw but we'd have to upgrade it in order to make it like effective as an epic strike, and a lot of the upgrades for it, they are more expensive, I think, than what we can afford. The other problem with this tree is that it does not give us any spell power. Like, it's basically a melee or ranged only tree. So there's a lot of stuff that we just really don't need. Like, this whole row is just completely useless to us. That would be useless to us. That's okay. All right, so let's say we just, for the sake of argument, try to move this along. Let's take a look at this. That's okay. That's okay. Don't technically need it. All right, so probably the best one for us would be this one, followed by this one. Okay, this does damage whenever anything stands in. Okay, that's good. This will allow us to... I'm using a short sword, and I'm a drow, so I could use Valkur. And that doesn't really matter, so let's just continue to boost this. Okay. And we might as well just continue with that. All right, so... All right, we know this all hits well. Let's see what Greater Shout's hitting at now. I haven't used that spell in quite a while. It'd be something to go into Fatesinger if you wanted to use those normally, but... So this may be... My save for it is terrible, so nothing's going to get stunned, but I don't have the thing that you need. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Can I actually stand in this and get healed? I would take half because I'm undead, right? Yeah, I do. I use a lot of heals just in general. It's how I make up for the fact that I've only got 1,300 hit points and 100 PRR. Like, I'm constantly trying to keep heals rolling on myself. Especially on this character. So I've got these two going, and now we'll have Consecration going. This may be a dumb idea, but we're gonna try it. Why not? I mean, a lot of this stuff got changed, so we need to find an epic strike. Likely it's going to be Exalted Angel. We'll just use a light pillar and move on with our lives, but I think it's worth trying out just to see how this stuff works, because I haven't actually playtested any of this stuff.
You can see a fortress floating in the silvery mists of the astral plane.
All right, so here's the epic strike.
The shield collapses as it comes into contact with a living being.
Oh, we did stun him with this shout, right? Was it the shout that stunned him? It's not that much. Okay, there's the... I'm not seeing any sonic damage. I mean, it's not terrible. The only downside of it is that it just has such a... It's a low spell point cost, but it's 20 seconds on the cooldown for that. But I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's a bad idea. See if I can get a sonic attack on this dude. Yeah, okay. It wasn't that much. We'll consecrate the ground here. I mean, he's actually taking some fire damage. So, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible idea if you really like that. Like, if you were doing an Eldritch Knight, like me personally, I don't think it's good. But because my build is like focusing on Fade Arc, Illusionist, Illusion, I'm using like this extra stuff here. But if you were doing like what people traditionally do, like a Pale Master in with Eldritch Knight for the defensives, and you had your imbue die, let's say you had up to like Subtle Force 1, and you were actually swinging your sword at stuff, I think that this is actually pretty decent consecrate to have as an epic strike, if that's what you were playing, like sort of like a, especially if you weren't doing Lich, if you were doing Vampire for the extra like melee hit damage, whatever it does. So I can certainly see people using it. As far as something like Archmage too, maybe, because you're basically at that point
and one of the signal crystals by the barrier flares
doing a lot of casting. Like Archmage itself doesn't have really any defensives built into it. You're basically getting a bunch of junky SLAs, but you're primarily arcane blasting in your, you know, in your arcane supremacy window. So you could technically, what I mean is like throw it on your consecration, stand in it. It would add to your survivability because you're kind of like a glass cannon, but you're standing in a heal puddle. So I don't think it's a bad epic strike. There's certainly like situations that it would be useful. But again, we're back to like, I still think for me personally, the flight from Exalted Angel is just way, way stronger.
Revealing the passage beyond.
So we'll see how this Cuddle Puddle does over here with all of these slots. All right, so I put it out. There we go. It's still taking a lot of damage. They're not taking a lot of damage. You know, like either. Ooh, I just fell off. Yeah, so the consecrate, the damage that it does is not very high. But that could be just because my like fire and light is not that high. Oh, they're gonna probably kill me. Actually, I'll throw down a dancing ball to try to get them. Yeah, we just color spread them all. So here's an epic strike right in the middle of them. Yeah, so see the fire damage is not They're taking a little bit of holy. It's like a couple hundred every second. But nothing that I would think, oh my god, this is OP. It's just extra damage, basically. And the heal is small. It's not like I feel like it's like a second renewal. It's something that would regenerate you, but it's not enough that I'm like, oh, this is like phenomenal. Right? Like I'm very low health. And it's not adding a lot to my health. Right? Like there, it just added like 50 points. Which if I do a renewal or a cocoon, even though I'm undead, those are doing hundreds to me. You know, like, and then if I actually do an aura, then I'm gonna start getting a lot more heals. And my color spray just did 2300 because it's flagged my in case you're wondering why that happened, because it technically is not a damage ability. However, if your mantle does light damage, it's considered a light spell. And this heart mantle does boost light and alignment damage, so that's why I got that. Yeah, the AoE healing if you're in a group. Yep, I agree. It's really cool. It's just not very much, like, you know, so. So I don't think that that's terrible. It's just not something that I would, like, seriously consider, you know.